Good morning, Mark Williams, mwpersonaltrainer.com. Today we're going to talk about the next diet killer that I encounter, and that's relying solely upon the diet. Okay, when people enter into a fat loss plan, usually they'll take one of three approaches. 1, diet only, 2, exercise only, or 3, diet with exercise, but commonly the exercise proves to be unsuitable for the diet. Usually at this time of year I have people coming to me who are setting out on a ginger shot in the morning, soup of a lunchtime, salad in the evening, and they're taking in an aerobics class or a spin class. And as I said in the earlier videos, 2 weeks down the line they'll have small results, but nothing to shout about. They enter into this thinking that in 8 weeks, 12 weeks time they'll have lost 15 kilos, which is information that they can acquire from the internet, from these miracle fad diets. But again, they find out that that's not the case, and it's not as easy as that. Now, I have a saying that I use in the gym, and that's get fit in the gym, lose fat in the kitchen. And it's quite common. And we all know, most people in the business who know what they're talking about know that that works, and that's the way to go about doing it. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, if you want to lose fat at a great rate, then you need to get clean in the kitchen, okay? Your diet needs to be cleaned up and all the crap needs to go. So when you set out and you're aiming for 4 kilos minimum of fat loss each month, it's a lot harder than, eat salad, as we've already discussed, and go to a spin class, go to an aerobics class. It just doesn't burn that much fat. Remember, 1 kilo of fat is 7,000 calories. That's a lot of spinning, and that's a lot of aerobics to burn that off. You have to maximize what you're doing on the diet once you've got it clean. Okay, remember, we're not talking about clean for weeks on end. You have to reset, okay? But once you've got the diet clean Monday to Friday, you have to maximize the body's output by getting it moving, okay? And the next way to increase the metabolism is to stimulate muscle. Just look at all those people who punish themselves daily, jogging, hours on end, pounding the streets, bam, bam, bam. When you look at them, do you look at them and think, wow, I'd love to have their physique? Sure, they may look slim in clothes, but trust me, you don't want a jogger's physique. So if I'm saying now it's getting so complicated that going on the right diet and doing some form of exercise isn't going to work, what is? Okay, what is going to work? Am I making it too complicated now that, people out there are thinking, oh, this is just painful. I can't face it. I mean, it's so hard. It is hard if you fall into the mistakes that people make. But once you get away from those mistakes and you put things right, it really is easy. It really is important. The type of exercise is just as important as the volume and the duration of it, okay? So if you're slogging away jogging or going to classes every day, that's an hour a day in each one of those activities. Now, you don't need to do that long, okay, if you're doing the right type of exercise. So what type of exercise are we talking about, and how much? That's what people say. People often ask me, well, how many times a week do I need to train? And it's not as simple as that. My answer back to them is a question. It's, well, how many times a week can you train? Because if I say you need to train 5 times and realistically that's not an option for you, then I have to work around what is. Now, generally I work with people on the basis of doing just over 4 hours a week, and that's split into 45-minute sessions and 15-minute sessions for them throughout the week, which pretty much everyone should be able to set aside. I mean, that's an episode of EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever junk people watch on the TV nowadays. But if you really want to do it, then set that time aside, and you have to make a sacrifice, give up something for your own benefit. Now, in that 4 hours and 15 minutes that I set for people that I ask them to try and adhere to for their own benefit, not mine, I consist that of 2 types of training. 1, resistance training. Now, don't think, oh my God, I need to go out and join a gym. You don't, because bodyweight exercise is very good for resistance training, and with the implementation of a couple of small pieces of equipment, such as some resistance bands, there you go, you've got your resistance training. And the second one is high intensity interval training, which is predominantly proven now to burn more fat than slow, steady state cardio. So again, it's another reason not to go out and join the aerobics class and go out jogging. Now, how do we break that 4 hours and 15 minutes down? Can you do 4 hours and 15 minutes in one day? Well, no, you can't. So what I break that down into for people is 45-minute sessions or 15-minute sessions. So 5 days a week they'll do 45-minute sessions, and 2 days a week they'll do 15-minute sessions. Now, I just said earlier that the type of training is just important as the volume and the duration of it. Now, if I've just then added on from that and said that there are 2 types of training that I use, how can both of those be right? Well, each week you will tinker with the diet. Each day you will adjust it slightly. So on days where you're doing high intensity interval training, there's not really a necessity for carbs in the diet on that day, because predominantly when we do that type of training, the fuel that we burn is fat more than carbohydrate. And then obviously on the other days when you're doing resistance training, your body prefers to use carbohydrate as fuel. So on the days where you do circuit training or resistance training, you will have more carbohydrates in the meals that day. And in the days when you do high intensity interval training, you will have more fat. So the diet now matches the activity, which is where you get the great results. So 5 days of 45-minute sessions that you can do in the comfort of your own home, and 2 15-minute sessions on 2 days that you can also do in the comfort of your own home, needing very little equipment to carry that through to a good level. Now remember, when you're starting out on an exercise plan, it needs to be at your level. Don't worry about what your friends at work are doing or your next door neighbour's doing. Don't worry if you're the same age and weight as they are. Okay, if they're doing something that you can't do, that's their level. Okay, don't try and match that. You work at your own level. Exercise is very personal, okay, and it's set out to every individual. So you worry about what you can do and don't think that I should be able to do this. It doesn't work like that. Okay, you work at your own level and you build up. That's the way you stay injury free. Now, just a few seconds back I said that some days you will eat more carbs. I don't want people to freak out and say, oh my God, he said eat carbs. Okay, carbs are good. There's nothing wrong with eating carbs. It's the type of carbs that you eat. Fibrous, wholesome carbs are great. Okay, artificial crap carbs are not good for you. Processed carbs are not good for you. But potatoes, rice, pasta in small amounts is great. Sweet potato is great. Okay, you don't need to panic about eating carbs. And they're what your body wants to run on resistance days, okay? Your body needs that fuel, okay? And that's where you get the best results, by having a balance in your diet of protein, carbohydrate, and fat. In earlier videos, we spoke about metabolism. Now, remember, I said muscle. Think of muscle as your metabolism, okay? That is why to incorporate resistance training into your diet is great for muscle. The more muscle you can get fired up and burning calories, the more fat you will burn each week. I also have people come to me, usually female actually, that come in and they'll say, I've been going to the gym and I've put on weight, so I don't want to do weights anymore. Yes, you will gain a little bit of weight when you start doing resistance activity. That's your muscles taking on more water, gaining in size a little bit. Okay, so there is a weight increase in muscle, but remember, muscle is your engine. It is good. You need it to burn fat. We're not worried about weight. It's fat loss that we're looking at. Let's give you a visual on this, okay? 4 people starting out in January. All of them weigh 100 kilos. All of them at 30% body fat, which means they have a muscle mass of 70 kilograms, okay? Top person, diet only, okay? This is where it's gonna get you. 70%, 70 kilos of muscle, and then the red line, 30 kilos of body fat, okay? Diet only, poor diet, ends up with 65 kilos of muscle, but the weight remains at 100 over a 12-week period, okay? Which means the body fat has gone up, body fat has increased. They've lost muscle and gained fat. okay? No good. Dieter 2 starts out on an exercise plan. Exercise only. 70 kilos of muscle like the other guy, 30 kilos of body fat like the other guy, okay? 12 weeks in, now weights remain the same, lost a bit of body fat, gained some muscle. 75 kilos of muscle, now overall weight 100 kilos. 25% body fat now, okay? The dieter only, who's rebounded because of the poor diet and given up, now 35%. Dieter only, 35%. Exercise only, 25% body fat. Okay? Then you've got the dieter who combines some exercise. Not necessarily the best exercise, but a combination of diet and exercise. Alright? 70 kilos, like the last one, of muscle, 30 kilos of body fat, okay? Ends up now 75 kilos of muscle, 95% overall weight. Body fat percentage now of 21%. Okay, so now if we look at the last guy, look at this, look at the shape on that, the diet and exercise. Look at this, the same overall look. This is what I'm trying to say to you. How you look in clothes. Sure, this one may be lighter, okay, but is stronger, so has put on some muscle, but looks pretty much the same. There's no visible difference. Now, the dieter and the exerciser, 75 kilos of muscle, gained 5 kilos of muscle, lost 5 pounds of body fat, 5 kilos of body fat, sorry, and now the body fat percentage is 21 from 30, okay, so 9% reduction, which is good, don't get me wrong, that is good, that's a good way to start and to keep that going, alright. The last guy, the exerciser, 25%. The diet only, poor diet, metabolism shuts down, rebound weight, now at 35%, okay, a worse position than what they started. They were only 30% when they started the diet. Now from the diet, they've lost a bunch of muscle and water, weigh the same, and they've got more body fat. So they're in a worse position than what they've started in. Last person, dieter and exercise, starts out 70 kilos of muscle, 30 kilos of body fat, like the last three, okay? 12 weeks on, now 80 kilos of muscle, 90 kilos overall weight. That's a big loss. Big gain, 10 kilos up in muscle, 10 kilos down overall in weight, okay? Body fat percentage now, 11%. That is where the magic happens, okay? Look at that, 11%. Look at this wheel of fat now. That is what we were meant to look like. Like a skinny, low-profile sports tyre, not a tractor tyre, okay? Get into that diet and the right exercise. Resistance training, high-intensity interval training. Get the diet right, okay? It's protein, it's fat and carbs. Look, I know where I'm coming from on this. Or I might be nearly 50 now, but back in the day, I weren't. This is how I've lived my life in managing my weight, okay? When I was in South Africa, shooting for Men's Health, that's me, okay? I had to do this. I had to take body fat off me. I had to lean down. But I weren't lean all the time, okay? I wasn't lean in shoot condition all the time. It's hard to stay like that. But over the years, I've learned how to take this down, to take my body fat down. It's the diet and the right form of exercise that does it, okay? And 12 weeks should be enough for anyone. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. If you set yourself aside 12 weeks, you will make a big change, okay? You might only be looking to lose 5 kilos. If that's the case, you should be looking to do it in 4 weeks, all right? If you're looking to lose 10, maybe 6 to 8, but it's possible, okay? That is where you need to get to. Increase your muscle, burn your fat. That's the metabolism working, that's the metabolism stoked up, and that is the body burning fat at a great rate of knots. So if you learn now that in conjunction with your diet that you have now got right and you have it balanced out between protein, carbs and fat, if you learn now that slow, steady state, boring cardio or jogging or your aerobics class or your spin class is not going to work for you, you're onto a winner. Because if you start bringing in some resistance training and some high intensity interval training You only need to be exercising for a minimum of 4 hours and 15 minutes each week to get those results that you're looking for. That's a small price to pay. It's just time now to take account of your own training. Don't go on a diet and sit back and wonder, well, why am I not losing weight? Make it happen. Take control of your own body. Take control of your own goals. Get up and get your body moving, doing the right exercise, and you will get the goals that you want. Suitable exercise, the correct lifestyle plan for your diet wins every time. Your muscle loves to exercise, loves to move, it's healthy for it, it's good for mobility, it's good in old age. High intensity interval training, even for a shorter duration than long, slow, steady state, boring cardio, will burn more calories if done at the right intensity. It's about fueling your body correctly with a balance of protein, fats and carbohydrates and getting your body moving. Firing up that metabolism, acquire a little bit of muscle, firm up the muscle that you have and set it out to burn fat, okay? Don't rely solely on the diet, bring in the correct type of training and it's win-win, okay? Any questions? Message me at mwpersonaltrainer.com. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe if you found the video useful. And in some of the future videos, I'll be going through some of the workouts. Meal plans will be coming together. Images of food, recipes that you can use to lose fat.